Hi, Bruno. I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about your background.
Oh, well, I'm based in Leeds, but I'm originally from South, like deep South. Like my family is from Germany, but I was born in Brazil. So, and I've been living in UK like for 10 years, roughly. So, um, always like working with comics. Well, I mean, at least trying to, you know, break it into the business properly. Uh, which is more important actually is like after breaking into the business, like how to remain in the business, like so I've yeah I've been doing comics like since I remember, like basically like all my life, like drawing and basically like Marvel stuff at the beginning, and until I came across like a 2000 AD stuff, like all that like old material from 70s 80s, and that like that blew my mind completely, like change uh, everything I knew about comics changed from like the day I came across like 2000 AD, and I'll say, okay, I wanna, if I wanna learn how to do this stuff, I probably should move to Britain, and try to understand like the kind of like culture that you know originated the comic, and because like for me, like I've always like loved British comics. Like there's like this European sensibility to it, but it's still kind of like a really, it's like like there's the punk attitude to it. It's not quite like there's nothing similar to it. Like there's neither American or like a European comics get any close. Like is a mixture of both, but at the same time, at the same time is neither. Like, so I was like, wow, this is really weird. And I want to learn that, and that's it. Like that's how I ended up here. And
Okay, great. I mean, there is that kind of European sensibility, I suppose, that comes through, and certainly in the work I've seen you produce so far, I could see that in the work. So, how did you actually become involved in Space Warp?
well, I basically I think I did what like everybody did. I just applied for the job, basically. Like um, Pat was inviting like a new artist, like to like to send some like material to him, and he would like he did like some kind of selection, and but I knew Pat, like I met Pat like 5 years ago, roughly. The first time I decided to self-publish my own work, and I got in touch with Pat. Like I say, like, well, like, could you have a look at like my stuff, like I would appreciate if you take like your time. I know you're busy, like, but if you kindly could like go through my stuff and like give me a feedback if like is even like good enough to be published. And to my surprise, he got back to me like 2 days later, like and he quite liked my work, and like he was quite enthusiastic about it. And I say, wow, that's great, I didn't expect this. And well, like 5 years later, like he decided like to publish like Spacewarp, and I say, well, maybe I should get in touch again, and like like and apply for the job, and I did, like I did a couple of tryouts for a different story, because now I did Jurassic Man, which is now Jurassic Punks. We changed the title, but I applied to the different strip. and I was like a really close to be, you know, like I was close, but not quite like not quite there yet, you know, like so. And then like another artist came along, and he was like on spot, like he managed to get it right. And like yeah, absolutely, he's like the perfect artist for that strip. And Jurassic Man, for there was like a different artist assigned to that strip, and for like personal reasons he dropped out. And Pat got in touch, and like he offered me the position, and I was like, wow, yeah, pretty happy to do it, like because I would have applied for Jurassic Man like at first, like, you know, like straight away, like, but the strip wasn't available, so I went to a different one. And turns out like yeah, now I can, you know, like that's it, you can do Jurassic Man. And like, wow, yeah, great. And yeah, I was really happy, man. Like I couldn't believe, you know, like it's just like a Dinosaurs and Liverpool and punks, you know, like there's like Mad Max vibe to it, like all the stuff that I really enjoy, you know. And yeah, that's how it went, like.
Okay, yeah. So you've touched upon what the story is actually about. I wonder if you could go into a little bit more detail without spoiling any of the surprises in the upcoming storyline.
Right, yeah, I'll see if I manage to avoid any spoilers. Yeah, I think when Pat told me about Jurassic Man, he had an idea of Omega Man, like the Iron Legend, you know, like kind of the lone wolf wandering like a post-apocalyptic landscape, uh, but like with a difference, like the story takes place in Liverpool in the 70s, and with dinosaurs. And so we follow the story of like Joe Megiddo, I think that's how you pronounce his surname, which is like the title character, Jurassic Man. And he's tried to find his family, which was basically on the other side of the Merseyside, you know. And at the moment he can't quite cross the river, like, so he's like stuck in Liverpool and trying to survive. And he comes across with this punk girl named Dada, and she's a mutant, which is like have like close links with a different strip in Spacewarp. I think is drawn by Mike D, which is great stuff so far. Like everything I've seen, like, is great, and he's doing the cover as well. So wow, this. So yeah, they got together, and like you know, there's like a really like a interesting dynamic between them. Like he's like an older guy, like kind of like a, you know, a bit like, oh, what are you doing, man? Like, yeah, you teenager, you know, punk girl. Like, you know, I walk alone. You know, I don't care for that stuff. And she's like very like a sassy, really smart, witty personality. Like, and there's some elements like a science fiction elements in the story comes with Dada, like, as she's a mutant, like she has like time traveling powers. And so she's like a, you know, shoplifting in the future and coming back to Liverpool in the 70s, you know, like. And it's I mean, it's great fun. There's a bit of I would say, like, yeah, there's like this traditional, like, this is bad, like, so there's like this punk attitude to it. But there's a different flavor to it. Like, it's different. It's, you know, like, it's because he wrote Flash and he created Flash and the cowboys with dinosaurs, and you could say like this is like punks with dinosaurs, but like there's something else that I can't quite tell you now. Like like there's a twist to the story that I think like the readers will like it. But I try to to be really faithful through the script. Is like if you ever had a chance to read like a Pat's script, like it's quite dense in terms of research. So and at the same time, it is quite generous about like well, you got like plenty of room to come up with new ideas, and so feel free if you want to follow this, it's fine. But like if you have any ideas, like knock yourself out, like. And it's very interesting to work with him because like he's very humble in that sense that he thinks about the comic, about the results. There's no ego in it. Like what's the best for the strip, what's the best for the comics, like he goes for it, and like he gives you like a free reign to to come up with ideas, and the strip changed slightly, like as we were working on it, like, and seriously, it took a long time to get it right, like some pages I drew like 3 or 4 times. I think the last one, it took me like 4 attempts to get it right, like, because we're supposed to go, like if that's the cliffhanger, and it needs to be like really powerful, like the opening page should be like the same feeling to it, like a really powerful, like in your face, feeling. So it was really hard to get it right. Like I was like losing my mind.
Okay. I mean, Pat's well known for putting the artist through the ringer. I'm sure you won't mind me saying that, but the benefit of the strip and the general outcome. I'm quite interested to hear what your kind of process is, how you work. Are you digital? Are you traditional? Are you a mixture of both? You want to tell the people watching this how you work and how you put strips together?
Well, I work traditionally. Basically, I do very little like digital tweaks on the page. Like like I do some editings and stuff on Photoshop, but it's basically traditional, and that's one of my struggles with Jurassic Man, because like I knew the kind of visuals I wanted. The inking, the inking quality that I wanted, like, but I didn't think about the logistics, so now I know like how I need to do it, like to get it right. But like, because I was inking on watercolor board, so it's quite thick and difficult to scanning into the computer, like to get it right, and it's not blurry, like the lines, the fine lines don't get blurry, and you lose quality and stuff, like, so it took me a long time to figure out, but yeah, I just needed that, like that feeling, like when you're working traditionally, inking on paper, and there's like it's a bit like a rough around the edge, like and I think like that's the right feeling for Jurassic Punks. It's a bit gritty, like kind of like it's dangerous, like it needs to look like the visuals needs to represent all that, like, and I really don't enjoy that much, like working on a computer, like doing stuff digitally. it's not really my thing. I know people can do amazing stuff with that, but I prefer like to do my stuff like I like paint and ink, you know, and get my hands dirty in, you know, and at the end of it, like you have like a piece of like original art that you know, like you sit back and look at it, like say, wow, man, that was worth all the trouble, you know, to get this out of my system, you know.
And it's also a secondary form of income now as well, where you can sell the original art, which is a struggle to do digitally. So, you know, in that respect, it's a smart move as well. So how far ahead are you working on this? Do you know where it's going next, for example, or are you taking it kind of one episode at a time?
Well, yeah, we got the first one done, and there's outline for the second. I know more or less where he's heading to, but there is a script. So I think we're basically waiting for launching Spacewarp #1, and then we see how it goes, and hopefully it's going to be successful and going to be a hit with the readers. And I really hope, like, because everybody involved is like working really hard on it, so it's going to be great. Like everything I've seen so far, like looks amazing. You know, like so yeah, I have a rough idea where it's going to, but I need to wait like to Pat to sit down and write like Spacewalk 2 basically. So I'm not sure when that's gonna happen, but like hopefully it's gonna be soon. We get back to work soonish. It depends on like how long this lockdown's gonna last, and we'll see. Because like everything now is upside down, you know, like the industry as a whole, like everybody, nobody knows exactly how it's gonna be, you know, like so. I have a feeling it's Spacewarp's gonna do well in this scenario, but it's just a feeling, you know. Like I don't have the data to back me up on this, but like I believe like we'll do well, hopefully.
Great, yeah. I mean, obviously, like you say, we'll see what happens. But I think, you know, obviously with digital distribution and print backing that up, that's a model that some of the bigger publishers are looking at very closely at the moment, especially in the US. I think as far as the British industry goes at the moment, actually the UK comics have been a little bit more robust because of the subscription models. They've been able to fall back on that. So it'll be very interesting to see how this new release performs in the industry and to the public in general. So beyond Spacewarp, is there anything else you're working on that you'd like to talk about, or is there any directions in the future you'd like to take either this strip or other strips, or is there anything interesting that you think for the future?
Well, I'm probably gonna take a break after like a JURASSIC PUNX Spacewarp, like the first one. I'll take a few days off, because even though we've been in the lockdown and I've been like working around the clock to get, you know, like all the artwork done, some like my own website done and everything. So it's been quite intense, like the last couple of months. So I'll be like taking like maybe like a month off after this, and I don't know, like maybe I'll go back to my self-published comic. Like I still have the last issue to finish. Not sure how long that's gonna take me, because it's like a painted artwork, and it's like the last. It took me 4 years to finish 2 issues of those comics, so not quite sure if that's something I would like to do next. Probably more black and white stuff, because I'm really enjoying doing this now. I found a new style, because I was like so so busy like learning like how to paint. You know, I was really into that stuff. Like, you know, I wanted to be like a painter and everything. And I kind of neglected my, you know, my black and white work, like my inking and my drawing, like my basic skills, like kind of were a bit rusty. Like, and now I got back to it, and like I really enjoying this. I think I would rather, you know, stick to the black and white work than like you know, go back to painted stuff. Not sure, not sure.
So just finally to wrap up, where can our viewers see your work? What's the website URL?
Well, yeah, it's brunostahl.com. I got all my social media in there, like all the links, and so and I'm probably gonna be updating like on a weekly basis. So yeah, I'm really excited about that, and maybe I will produce like some comic, like short story for my website as well, like 5-page something, because I've got a couple of ideas that I would like to work on. Like, so maybe I going down that road, you know, like publishing stuff on my own website. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, great. Thanks very much, Bruno, for taking the time out, and good luck with the launch. And hopefully, we'll chat again soon once the comic's actually out.
Yeah, my pleasure, Phil. Thank you. Thank you for having me.